The stars had always been silent watchers over Earth, twinkling in the night sky as if they knew secrets no human could imagine. On a distant edge of the galaxy, the Galactic Alien Council gathered in a massive chamber, a place of shimmering energy and floating consoles. Its members were beings of many shapes, some crystalline, some almost invisible, each one powerful and intelligent beyond human understanding. A holographic display of Earth rotated slowly in the center of the room. Council members whispered and gestured, debating a question that had troubled them for centuries. Are humans ready for the dangers of the galaxy? They are unpredictable, said a tall, translucent figure named Vorin. Their technology is primitive. Their emotions are unstable. They cannot survive without guidance. They must be protected, another said, a being with 6 glowing eyes. Intervention is necessary. If we do not act, they will destroy themselves before they even leave their planet. After hours of debate, the Council reached a decision. A fleet of alien ships, powerful and gleaming, would be sent to Earth. Their mission was clear: protect humans from themselves. But the Council could not foresee one crucial fact. The humans they thought weak were far stronger than they imagined. Meanwhile, on Earth, the night sky was calm. People went about their routines, unaware that unseen eyes watched their every move. In a small observatory in New Mexico, young aerospace engineer Mara Jensen sat hunched over a computer screen. Her fingers moved quickly, decoding strange signals that had begun appearing in satellite transmissions. "What is this?" she muttered. Lines of alien code scrolled faster than she could read. Something about it felt wrong. Unlike any natural phenomenon, the signals seemed intelligent, deliberate. Her colleague, Dr. Elias Romero, leaned over her shoulder. "Are you sure it's not just interference?" Mara shook her head. "No, look at the patterns. They're organized. And they're coming from orbit. Something or someone is up there." At first, the world ignored the signals. Satellites experienced unusual malfunctions. Strange energy pulses appeared in the sky, and reports of glowing ships in orbit began circulating. Governments were puzzled, scientists were alarmed, but no one guessed the truth. The alien fleet had arrived, silently hovering above Earth, watching and waiting. When the Council's ships finally made themselves visible, humanity reacted with a mix of awe and fear. Massive silver vessels, sleek and glowing, appeared above every continent. They did not attack, nor did they communicate directly. Instead, they moved like silent guardians, monitoring human activity as if observing children who had wandered into a forest alone. News networks erupted with speculation. "Are they hostile?" people asked. "Are we safe?" In major cities, people gathered on rooftops and streets, staring at the enormous ships that blocked out parts of the sky. Inside the alien ships, sensors and scanners measured every human action. The Council's fleet was not there to conquer, it was there to control. "We must guide them," Vorin said. "They cannot survive without oversight." But humans, as Mara and Elias were beginning to realize, did not like being told what to do. Mara's curiosity turned into determination. She began working day and night, building a small secret lab hidden beneath the observatory. Using her knowledge of engineering and physics, she tried to understand the alien ship's technology. Each experiment taught her something new. The alien systems were advanced, yes, but not perfect. There were weaknesses, blind spots in their surveillance. One evening, Mara stared at a holographic map of the world and the alien fleet. "They think we need saving," she whispered. "But they don't know what humans can do." Elias looked at her concerned. "You think we can fight them?" Mara smiled faintly. "Not fight, not yet. But we can learn. And when the time comes, we will show them that we're not helpless." The first days of alien presence were strange and unsettling. Their ships hovered silently over cities, occasionally sending out small drones that interfered with communications and technology. They blocked some scientific research, shut down military tests, and even redirected satellites. Humans felt powerless, but a quiet spark of resistance was beginning to grow. Mara's lab became a hub for a small group of scientists and engineers who shared her determination. They began decoding alien signals, mapping blind spots in surveillance, and preparing to test human ingenuity against an enemy that believed themselves invincible. The Council, watching through their vast network, smiled at what they thought was compliance. They believed humans would follow instructions, remain protected, and eventually depend on alien guidance. But they were blind to something essential. Humans were resourceful, clever, and unyielding. By the end of Part 1, humanity stood on the edge of an invisible line between obedience and freedom, between being protected and proving their strength. And Mara Jensen, standing before her humming computers, knew one thing for certain. The aliens were about to discover that humans were not as weak as they thought. The stars above Earth twinkled quietly. As if holding their breath, the alien ships did not attack. Instead, they moved like quiet shadows over the cities, their glowing hulls reflecting sunlight in patterns humans had never seen before. To the outside world, their presence seemed calm, almost peaceful. But under the surface, humanity was being controlled. The aliens, under the guise of protection, began restricting human technology. Satellites that once monitored weather, communications, and military activity were quietly disabled or rerouted. Nuclear reactors were inspected and limited. Space programs were slowed. Everything advanced too quickly, they claimed, and humans might harm themselves. In the halls of government, leaders debated what to do. Some thought compliance was safest. Others whispered about rebellion, but no plan took shape. Ordinary citizens continued with life, unaware that their progress was being monitored and curtailed by beings far stronger than they had ever imagined. Meanwhile, Mara Jensen worked tirelessly in her secret lab. The alien technology fascinated her. Its energy was clean and powerful, its machines precise and flawless. But she noticed patterns that the aliens overlooked. Even their most advanced systems had blind spots. "They think they can control us," Mara said, examining a small holographic display of a nearby alien surveillance drone. "But we can still move. We can still think. And that is something they cannot take away." Elias Romero frowned. "Are you sure we're ready for this? They're so much stronger than us," Mara shook her head. "Strength isn't everything. They calculate. They plan. But humans are unpredictable. That is our advantage." The aliens sent a liaison to Earth, a being named Krylox, whose 6 shimmering eyes reflected curiosity and authority. Krylox moved among humans, speaking in perfect English through translators, explaining the Council's rules of protection. "You are dangerous to yourselves," Krylox told human leaders during a televised broadcast. "We are here to guide you. Resistance will only harm your people." Most humans watched in awe. Some were scared. But Mara saw something else: arrogance. Krylox believed humans were incapable of planning beyond the next few months. He underestimated human creativity, human stubbornness, and human courage. Secretly, Mara began gathering a small team of engineers and scientists who trusted her judgment. In a hidden lab beneath the observatory, they studied alien drones, energy fields, and communication signals. Every discovery gave them hope. Every weakness they found became a potential tool. One night, Mara and her team tested a small experiment. They hacked a minor alien drone, not to destroy it, but to redirect it away from sensitive areas. The drone followed new instructions without realizing it had been manipulated. "We did it," whispered one young engineer, Lena Kim, her eyes wide with excitement. "We actually did it?" Mara smiled but kept her voice steady. "This is just the beginning. The aliens control many things, but nothing is perfect. If we are careful, we can learn, adapt, and regain control over our own world." At the same time, the Council watched from their distant chamber. Vorin frowned at a new reading. "They are experimenting. They are trying to understand our technology." This was not expected. The aliens had assumed humans would obey, remain passive, and accept protection. But humans were quietly proving otherwise. Across the globe, small pockets of resistance began to form, inspired by Mara's work. Ordinary people with scientific knowledge, engineering skills, or simple cleverness started testing minor devices, rerouting signals, and exploring ways to regain autonomy. Their efforts were cautious, never enough to alert the alien fleet completely, but enough to make a difference. Krylox, observing these subtle moves, began to realize something surprising. Humans were different from any species he had ever encountered. They adapted quickly, solved problems creatively, and acted unpredictably. "They are clever," he admitted to his superiors. "They are more capable than we believed. Our protection may not be necessary, or even welcome." Despite his warning, the Council continued its oversight, confident that humans would ultimately fail. But with every passing day, Mara and her team gained confidence. They discovered ways to decode alien signals, find weak spots in their drones, and secretly communicate without detection. Humans began to feel a small sense of power returning. For the first time since the alien arrival, they believed they could take their future into their own hands. By the end of Part 2, humanity stood at a turning point. The Council thought they were guiding a weak species, keeping Earth safe. But in hidden labs, under quiet observatories, and in the minds of ordinary people, humans were learning, planning, and preparing. Mara looked out at the night sky, where alien ships floated silently. Her eyes burned with determination. "They think they are protecting us," she whispered. "But the truth is, we don't need saving. We never did. And soon they will see just how strong we are." The stars above glimmered as if acknowledging her words. Humanity was awakening quietly but powerfully. The Council's greatest mistake was clear. They had judged humans too soon and underestimated the fire that burned inside them. Mara Jensen and her team had been working in secret for weeks. Every night the lab beneath the observatory hummed with energy as they studied alien signals, mapped their patrol patterns, and tested small devices against drones. Each experiment revealed weaknesses in the alien systems, weaknesses the Council believed humans could never find. "It's like they think logic alone makes them invincible," Mara said, pointing at a holographic display of the fleet's energy shields. "But humans are not predictable. We can think in ways they cannot imagine." Her team nodded, a mixture of excitement and nervous energy in their eyes. This was the first step toward taking back control. The moment came sooner than expected. One night, a reconnaissance drone hovered near the lab, scanning for unusual activity. Mara gave the signal. With precise timing, Lena activated a small electromagnetic pulse device. The drone shivered, faltered, and then changed course, moving harmlessly away from the lab. "It worked," Lena whispered, barely containing her joy. Mara smiled, but her mind was already racing. "Good, that's the first test. But next, we go bigger. We reclaim more." The team began coordinating with other small groups around the globe. Engineers in Asia, South America, and Europe used old satellites, underground networks, and encrypted channels to disrupt minor alien systems. Each small success boosted human confidence. Meanwhile, the Galactic Alien Council monitored Earth with growing concern. Voran frowned at the readings. "They are resisting," he said, his voice tense. "Their actions are coordinated." Intelligent. This was not expected. The Council had always assumed humans were primitive and weak, incapable of planning beyond instinct. Now they realized their protected species might be capable of organized defiance. Krylox, the alien liaison on Earth, felt a mix of curiosity and respect. "They are clever," he admitted to himself, "far more clever than the Council predicted." The first major confrontation came when humans attempted to disable one of the alien communication satellites. Mara had designed a device that could temporarily block the satellite's signal. A small human team, guided by her calculations, launched the device from a disguised platform. The result was astonishing. The satellite's signal flickered and then went dark for several minutes. Alien patrol drones searching for the disruption were confused, scanning in circles, unable to detect the source. "Did you see that?" Elias Romero shouted over the comms. "They can't find us." "We actually did it." Mara's voice was steady, though her heart raced. "Yes, this is just the beginning. They believe themselves untouchable. But humans have one advantage they cannot calculate: unpredictability." As the news of minor victories spread among human resistance groups, the Council began to act. They deployed patrol ships closer to Earth, scanning cities, checking laboratories, and attempting to regain control. But humans were ready. Using their knowledge of alien systems, they outmaneuvered the patrols moving underground, using decoys and disrupting sensors with carefully timed signals. Each encounter taught them more about the alien technology, turning fear into strategy. Even Krylox began to admit that humans were exceptional. "They are unlike any species I have ever observed," he said quietly, his voice tinged with admiration. "Perhaps they are stronger than we allowed ourselves to believe." The tension reached its peak when a human team led by Mara attempted a daring raid on an alien research station in orbit. Using a recovered alien shuttle and advanced stealth techniques, they managed to dock undetected. Inside, they found research data, experimental devices, and control panels that could influence minor parts of the alien fleet. Mara carefully downloaded the information, knowing that this would give humans an edge the Council could not anticipate. The raid was risky, and yet it succeeded because humans thought like humans, creatively, boldly, and without fear of failure. When they returned to Earth, the Council was shocked. Vorin slammed his claw-like hand on the console. They should not have succeeded. "This is impossible!" Krylox watched silently, realizing a truth the Council refused to see. Humans were not weak. They were resilient, clever, and adaptable. For every measure the aliens took, humans found a countermeasure. By the end of Part 3, humanity had proven something vital. They were no longer passive. They were capable of resistance, coordination, and ingenuity. The Council's confidence in their protection was shaken. Humans were showing that intelligence was not measured by technology alone, but by courage, creativity, and the refusal to be controlled. Mara stood once more in the observatory, staring at the stars where the alien ships floated silently. Her team gathered behind her, excitement in their eyes. "They think they can protect us," she said softly. "They are wrong. They have never understood what humans can do, and soon we will show them." Above, the alien ships glimmered in the night sky, unaware that the humans below were preparing to challenge the Council itself. The first clash had been won, but the war for Earth's freedom and humanity's place in the galaxy was just beginning. The raid on the alien research station changed everything. The data Mara Jensen and her team recovered revealed secrets about the alien fleet, its energy patterns, command structure, and weak points. It was the first time humans had something more than survival. They had a plan. In underground bases, old factories, and hidden labs, humans began building. Using alien components mixed with human ingenuity, they created weapons, jammers, and stealth devices unlike anything before. Humanity was no longer just resisting. They were preparing to fight back. "This is our moment," Mara told her team, holding up a glowing data crystal. "We know where they are weakest. We know how they think. If we move fast, we can turn the tide." Elias Romero looked nervous. "If we do this, there is no turning back. The Council will see us as a threat." Mara nodded. "Then let them see. It's time they know we are not children to be guarded, we are equals." The first strike came at dawn. Over the Pacific Ocean, a small group of human-built drones carrying electromagnetic disruptors flew silently toward a massive alien patrol ship. At exactly the right moment, they released a powerful pulse that shut down the ship's shields. For a few minutes, the entire vessel went dark, its lights flickering like a dying star. Before the aliens could reactivate their systems, human teams transmitted false signals, making it appear as though the malfunction was caused by a natural cosmic event. "It worked," Lena Kim said breathlessly as she watched from the control room. "They have no idea we were behind it." One by one, humans repeated the tactic across different regions, disabling small parts of the alien network. The Council began to panic as their carefully organized control system started to break apart. In orbit, Krylox studied the reports with growing fascination. "They are attacking with precision," he said to Vorin during a council meeting. "Not with brute force, but with creativity. They are learning faster than any species we have encountered," Vorin hissed. "Then we must tighten control. We must send more ships." Krylox hesitated. Something in him had changed since he first came to Earth. He had seen human courage up close, their refusal to bow down even when facing overwhelming power. "Perhaps," he said carefully, "it is time we reconsider our approach. These humans do not need protection, they need respect." The Council ignored him. More ships were sent, and Earth's sky filled with even more glowing giants. Instead of fear, humanity felt something new: unity. Nations that once argued over borders and politics began to work together. Engineers from every continent shared discoveries. Pilots volunteered for dangerous missions. Scientists stayed awake for days, building new tools to fight back. Mara's leadership became a symbol of human determination. Under her direction, humans struck at alien supply points, disrupted their communication relays, and even captured a small patrol craft intact. Every victory made them bolder. Soon, humanity controlled enough alien technology to launch their most daring plan yet: taking back Earth's orbit. The operation began under a moonless sky. Human-built craft, small and fast, slipped past alien patrol routes using stealth fields reverse-engineered from alien tech. Their target, a major alien control hub floating above the Atlantic. As they approached, alien alarms began to sound, but it was too late. Mara's team activated their jammers, scrambling enemy sensors. Explosions of light rippled across the sky as the control hub's systems failed one by one. Inside the hub, alien officers panicked, unable to understand how humans had infiltrated so deeply. "Seal the core," shouted one alien commander. But before they could recover, Mara's voice echoed through the hub's communication channels. "This is humanity. We do not need your protection. Leave our world, or we will take back everything you have taken from us." Her words were broadcast across the fleet, reaching even the council chambers. It was not a threat. It was a promise. For the first time, the council realized they might lose control entirely. Voron's voice shook with anger. "They are challenging us openly." "This is rebellion." But Krylox only nodded slowly. "No, this is freedom. We forced this on them, and now they are proving what they truly are." By the end of Part 4, Earth's skies had changed. The alien fleet still hovered, but now there were human ships among them, bold and defiant. Humanity had struck back and shown that they were no longer passive observers of their own fate. Mara stood on a launch platform, staring up at the night sky where alien and human vessels faced each other like opposing stars. Her team gathered around her, tired but smiling. "This is just the beginning," Mara said. "We will not stop until the Council sees us for who we are. Not children, not a fragile species, but equals." Above, the alien fleet remained silent. The next move belonged to the Council, but for the first time they were no longer certain of victory. Humanity had proven they could fight back and win. The sky above Earth was no longer quiet. Human ships and alien vessels floated side by side, locked in a tense standoff. Every nation on Earth held its breath, waiting to see what would happen next. Mara Jensen stood aboard the captured alien shuttle, now modified with human systems. Around her, her team checked controls and data screens, preparing for the most dangerous mission humanity had ever attempted. "This is it," Elias said, strapping himself into his seat. "No turning back." Mara nodded. "No turning back. We are going straight to the Council. If they want to treat us like children, we will stand before them as equals." The shuttle's engines glowed and the ship rose into the dark sky, leaving Earth behind. For hours they traveled through the void, guided by coordinates stolen from the alien control hub. Finally, the ship emerged into a region of space filled with light. Before them floated the Galactic Council Station, a massive structure of silver and crystal, shining like a star. Alien ships moved around it like guardians, but none fired at the small human shuttle. The Council wanted to see what the humans would do. Inside the station, the Council chamber was filled with alien delegates, each representing a different world. They watched as the human shuttle docked and its hatch opened. Mara stepped inside the chamber, her boots clicking on the smooth floor. Her heart pounded, but she kept her head high. Her team followed, carrying the data crystal that contained proof of humanity's victories. Voron, the tall, translucent alien, spoke first. "Humans," he said, his voice echoing through the chamber. "You have defied our protection, disrupted our systems, and attacked our fleets. Explain yourselves." Mara took a deep breath and spoke clearly so every being in the chamber could hear. "We never asked for your protection. You came to our world without our consent. You shut down our technology, limited our progress, and treated us like we were children. But we are not children. We are a people with courage, intelligence, and the right to choose our own future." The chamber buzzed with whispers. Some aliens looked angry, others curious. "You believe you are ready to face the galaxy?" Voron asked, his glowing eyes narrowing. "Yes," Mara said firmly. She held up the data crystal. "This contains every victory we achieved against your fleet, without destroying a single ship, without harming a single world. We proved we could outthink you, outmaneuver you, and do it without needless destruction. We are ready not because we are perfect, but because we learn, we adapt, and we do not give up." Krylox, who had stood silently until now, stepped forward. His 6 shimmering eyes turned toward the Council. "They speak the truth," he said. "I have seen their courage. I have seen their creativity. No other species we have watched has grown so quickly under pressure. Perhaps it is time to stop protecting them." A deep silence filled the chamber. The Council members exchanged glances, debating silently through their shared networks. Warren finally spoke again. Humans, you have surprised us. We believed you fragile. We believed you would destroy yourselves if left alone. But you have shown strength we did not expect. Mara stood her ground. Then treat us as equals. Not as children to be guided, but as partners in this galaxy. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then the council leader raised a clawed hand. Very well, he said at last. Your planet will no longer be under forced protection. Your skies will be free. But remember, with freedom comes danger. The galaxy is not a gentle place, Mara smiled. We know, and we are ready. Hours later, the human shuttle returned to Earth. As Mara stepped out and looked up at the night sky, she saw something that made her heart swell with pride. The alien fleet was leaving. One by one, the glowing ships turned away from Earth, vanishing into the stars. Humanity had done the impossible. They had stood against the most powerful council in the galaxy, and won not through brute strength, but through determination and cleverness. All across the world, people celebrated. Fireworks lit the skies not out of anger but out of joy. Humanity was no longer under the shadow of alien control. That night, Mara stood on a quiet hill outside the observatory. The stars looked brighter than ever before. Elias joined her, smiling. You did it, he said softly. No, Mara said, looking up at the sky. We did it, all of us. Humanity proved itself. The wind blew gently, and for the first time in months the night sky was truly free. Humanity's place among the stars had been earned, not given. And far away in the council chamber, Krylock stood at a window, watching the stars as well. A small smile formed on his face. Perhaps, he whispered, the galaxy just got a little stronger.